Lawrenceville, Ohio, is an unincorporated community in the suburbs of Springfield, Ohio. Until 56 years ago, it was its own small village with a modest amount of households and a variety of small businesses, and all was calm and quiet. It still has that same feel and is a warm and inviting neighborhood with a country charm and wide open spaces. However, on the morning of June 30th, 1964, this warm, welcoming area would be altered forever in the lives of those living in the community at the time. On this morning, 15-year-old Jessica Ann Minter was attacked and killed in her home at 2801 Anita Drive. At approximately 9 a.m. that morning, Jessica's mother, Elizabeth Minter, née Fink, a divorcee, left to report for work as a secretary and treasurer at her family's meatpacking plant. She said Jessica was still in bed but awake when she left the home. Jessica was the only one home upon Elizabeth's exit. At approximately 10:55 a.m., Jessica's friend Debbie Boyd arrived in her car to collect Jessica for a swim date at the Springfield City Pool. After honking her horn several times with no sign of Jessica, she decided to check and see what was causing the delay. Upon approaching the front door, Debbie found it ajar. When she opened it further, she discovered Jessica's body lying on the living room floor, not far from the front door. Upon the discovery, she ran to a residence across the street while screaming. Jessica was clad in her house dress and received 21 stab wounds, 19 to the chest, 1 to the back, and 1 to the head. There were blood stains located on the closet located near the front door and on the house dress itself. Clark County, Ohio Sheriff's Office investigators believed that she answered a knock at the door and was attacked immediately upon opening it. After the sheriff's department was summoned and processed the scene and gathered photographs of Jessica's body, her body was removed and transported to what was Mercy Hospital in Springfield, where pathologist Dr. Mary F. Hunter, M.D., performed an autopsy. Upon examination, it was determined that the attack weapon was possibly a knife with a blade of 5 to 6 inches in length, which caused the stab wounds as well as internal hemorrhage. At the crime scene, there was a palm print found on the floor alongside Jessica's body. To the best of my knowledge, it has not been identified. There appeared to be no apparent motive, and the autopsy showed no sign of sexual assault. However, it is speculated that the killer may have had that intent, but panicked and fled the scene instead. People questioned at the scene reported nothing unusual in the area during the enactment of the crime, and no one saw anyone entering or leaving the home. 3 teenage boys were the focus of questioning early in the investigation, but were ruled out as suspects. Jessica's friends and acquaintances, both in and outside the neighborhood, were questioned. Children in the neighborhood, as well as neighbors mowing their lawns, some utility workers who were nearby, and a neighbor sitting outside drinking coffee and reading a newspaper, did not observe anything unusual. With the exception of the front door, all of the house doors were locked, and there were no signs of a struggle. The dog was locked in the garage, and no one ever reported hearing it bark. One young boy said he heard a scream, but figured it was children playing somewhere in the neighborhood. There was also a boy in the neighborhood who claimed to have seen a red and white bicycle parked beside the house, and there was a tread mark from it on the tarred driveway. But to the best of my knowledge, once again, neither the bike nor the owner were identified. Jessica's mother underwent a polygraph test at the Springfield Police Department with what was considered an unsatisfactory result, but it is believed that this was due to sedatives that Jessica's mother was taking as a result of Jessica's death. She was questioned extensively for 3 consecutive days, but with no tangible evidence to make her considered a suspect. Jessica's boyfriend, who was 17 at the time, was tested as well, but results were inconclusive. Neighborhood gossip back then, as well as people discussing the case in Facebook posts, had and still are trying to claim that Jessica's mother was responsible for her death, but with nothing but theory to fuel the debate, since there isn't a shred of evidence to prove otherwise. These claims were based on other claims that Elizabeth Minter's boyfriend at the time paid too much attention to Jessica, and that it made her mother angry and jealous, as well as claims that Elizabeth was very stern with Jessica. The problem I see with this is, if her mother was angry, it would have been directed at the boyfriend, and I can't see jealousy being a factor. Also, if Elizabeth was stern as they were claiming, it may have been to protect Jessica if she realized her boyfriend was focusing too much attention on Jessica. Another theory was that because of the attention toward Jessica, the mother's boyfriend may have been the one to attack Jessica, knowing when Elizabeth would leave for work. And this hasn't been substantiated either. There were also Facebook claims by people who do not know the family that Elizabeth must have entertained numerous men, but a niece, nephew, and cousin have refuted such gossip. As for someone slipping in and out unnoticed, with fields and back roads surrounding the rural area, one could easily slip out of sight by either means. And if the killer was the one who used the bike, could easily ride off and disappear in moments. And call it a hunch, but I believe the perpetrator still lives in the general area after all this time, and that is another theory shared by some on social media. The story is of personal interest to me because I grew up in a small village roughly 5 miles away from Lawrenceville. And had I lived at least 2 miles to the east of where I grew up, Jessica and I would have attended the same school district. The Clark County, Ohio line and the Champaign County, Ohio line was very close to my old home, and this case happened practically in my backyard, as it were. I only learned of it 40 years ago after it took place, and was startled when I came upon it. And Jessica's parents and siblings have passed away since then, leaving nieces, nephews, and cousins. Her family, close friends, and I imagine Jessica long for closure so she can finally rest in peace. Another Facebook rumor is that her ghost has been seen walking around the neighborhood of the Englewood Drive residence in Springfield, Ohio, where her father lived. Maybe closure would compel her not to wander around there anymore. If you or someone you know has or believes they have information regarding the cold case murder of Jessica Ann Minter, please contact the Clark County, Ohio Sheriff's Office at 937-521-2050 or visit Clark County, Ohio on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. And, even if you're not sure if your information is related, please submit it anyway, because it is better to have done so and been mistaken than to let uncertainty hold you back from possibly solving this cold case. So once again, the Clark County, Ohio Sheriff's number is 937-521-2050. Now, the information that I gathered for this video came from www.clarkcountyohio.gov/222/unsolved-homicides. And the Facebook page is Justice for Jessica Minter. Now, I plan on doing more videos featuring more of the older Central Ohio cold case missing person and homicide cases in the future. So please rate, comment, subscribe if you would be interested in finding out more about individuals who are long overdue for the justice I believe they deserve, and I'm sure others believe it too. I'm also open to suggestions if you have an older case you would care to have me feature. This is Lena Thornhill. This was my first video, and I thank you for watching.